Good morning. It is 12:29, 6th of September. So, good afternoon. If you're wondering what I was doing this for, I just got a text, which I will tell you about just in a moment. So, I suppose that can be the first thing I talk about. Remember last week, I revealed where I work, and I said about how they hadn't got back to me. Well, it was starting to make me panic a little bit, because I thought I have like 4 weeks to find somewhere to move. It's no biggie because I could suppose go to Airbnb or something like some Airbnb place, but I just would like to know sooner rather than later. And so I got an email on Friday. Today is Tuesday. Oh, week 17. Video diary 17. I've been doing this for 17 weeks. That's a lot. 4 months. So I got an email back on Friday from Accenture saying, apologies for the delay, blah blah blah. We've got the new system sorted. You'll get an email over the weekend or like by Monday or whatever to onboard you. It's like I think this is like fill out like the application, but it's not an application, it's literally just like you have to fill in your details so that they can then bring you onto the system. So anyway, that was a text I just got there was from the guy who I'm liaising with for Accenture, who says, that's you should have got the email now. If you have any problems, let me know. Sorry again for the delays. So that's good, we can finally get that sorted. I'll do that straight after this, sign up, and then that'll be me. I'll get my contract through, now it'll be sorted. And as for my query regarding location, so what's happening is October is like training month, so for the month of October it will be remote, they told me, which is good. It means I can save the first month's money, get at least a little bit extra behind me, and then from November onwards it will be relative to the client, or so it could be in Edinburgh, could be remote, could be on client site, so just have to wait and see. So I'm mega excited for that. It's good that it's online because it gets saved money, but it's also not optimal that it's online, because I always find for myself, in person, I can bounce off people well, and I can fit into that kind of like, I can feed off that social energy a lot better relative to webcam. At least in my mind, like webcam in my mind, I'm kind of like, oh. Whereas like in person, like I get excited. So I'm trying to move myself into this, trying to figure out to be more myself on webcam, if you know what I mean. So hopefully talking to the video like this every week should help. But you know, training I'm pretty sure will help as well. So I'm looking forward to it mega. I cannot wait. Every time I get nervous and then I'll talk about it and I'm like, I can't wait to go. So I'm excited for that. That's brilliant news. By the way, if I'm sweating, which I always am to be fair, it's still not really eased up fully since coronavirus. It's still a bit kind of sketchy. So like I'll still have times where I'll just start sweating, but it has to kind of be triggered by something. And sometimes the trigger is like anxiety, mainly. Other times it's literally just because it's kind of warm, and then I'll get warm before everybody else. So like in here, in Joanna's room, she had a shower, and then she blow dry her hair. So turns out they don't have a fan in there, pardon me, it's just like a vent. So the steam just stays there, so you can't have a long shower. And then if you come out and you don't open the door, then if you need to go in and brush your teeth or do a pee or whatever, you get all steamy and clammy, and I don't like it. So I always open that door. That's not a door, that's a wardrobe. Behind that. Then I open the main door. So I open the kitchen door, and then the door to the room, and then the door in the kitchen to try and let some air flow through, because then there's a big window here. Big massive window. Turns out you're not allowed to open this window. Well, I'll show you. It'll be upside down, but big massive window. What size is it? Wait. Massive. Oh, would it be better? It's massive. But she contacted them regarding opening that window, and they basically said no. They were like, safety. She was like, oh, it doesn't open that much, can we open it anymore? And then the guy came up, tried it, emailed back, he's like, no, can't do it. So it's open like this much, so you don't get much air, and then there's a building right there. So relative to wind direction, if the wind's coming from that side, it's not too bad because then the air gets through. But if the wind comes from the other side, then you have to have all the doors open to try and get a through wind. But right now, it's not that windy outside, a little bit, but there's none coming in from here. And the other side is kind of like a square. So like we're here, and then there's like the driveway bit in here, and then there's buildings right round. That side, if the wind's not coming like in the perfect direction, it doesn't blow in. So you open it and it'll just be like air will be able to travel, but like just like move. There's no blowing, there's no wind at all, which becomes frustrating because I was about to do this before and then I was literally like sweating. So I had to have all the doors open. I went in there for a little bit, try and tidy up and stuff, just to give me something to do to try and stop the sweating. So, anyway, how we having sweaty. Also, I'm needing to shave this. I need to cut the hair too, so hat's not coming off. But I was actually thinking about that. I was gonna come up and go to a proper barber's because I've only ever done my beard. I've never had a barber do my beard. So even like when it was really long and then I chopped it right down, that's just freehanding it. And then for the past 4 months ish, yeah, 4 months, I've cut my own hair as well. So I'll just do like a 2, or like up, like just freehand it and then use a mirror and run. And then the top I don't have much, so I can just kind of spip it up, and if there's some like wispy bits, just chop them off. But I came up here and I was thinking, oh, do you know what I'll do? I'll book a professional barber and I'll get them to like properly do the beard. And then whilst I'm there, because I thought I wanted to see what it's like properly done, because I think it would look amazing. But then I was like, we'll get them to do my hair and I'll get them to do a skin fade again. And I was thinking I'll get them to do a high skin fade because I'm considering just shaving it off. I was just thinking about like how much annoyance it causes to deal with, that it just like it's starting to become not worth it, especially now the older I am. So like when you're younger and you're kind of older and it's like you put stuff in it and try and make it look a certain way and keep it cut all the time and and it's like you're willing to do it, but then when you gain a bit of muscle, gain a bit of beard, get older, you start being like, fake it, just do it. So now I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, what is the end game by trying to keep it? Because I don't even know if I'm a suitable candidate for a hair transplant, and even at that, I don't even know if I really would want one. And I could try and save my hair and keep a wee bit just now, but it's just the amount of effort and energy going into it doesn't seem to be rewarding enough anymore. It just seems to be like something that's silly how much control it's having over my life, if you know what I mean. So that's because I'm getting shaved off, but that's been for the past couple of weeks. And I was talking to my mum about it, and she's like, why don't you try and just get it really short and get used to it short and then see how you want to go. So I thought right now is like ample time. It's like ample time, that's even the right word. It's perfect time to do it because won't start working until October, and then I won't really be forced to see anyone in a shirt and tie until like November. So right now is the perfect time to do it because I actually considered doing it before my masters as well, because I hate the idea of doing it like mid something. I always feel like it's a good time to do it between things, so between masters and work. I don't know, just for people, because it removes the shock factor and stuff for people. But anyway, so I was thinking of doing that, getting it cut really short. So then I was looking online trying to get somewhere, and I was like, I don't know. And then I could only find one place that was doing like a skin fade and beard in Aberdeen, just from what I looked at. And they were 37 quid. I was like, I'd rather just pay 30 quid for better trimmers than I have right now. Pardon me, because the ones right now, the batteries dies, so you have to have it always plugged in, which is a pain. So you're trying to like shave your, like, cut your hair and stuff. And also it has like, is it like a number 1, 2, 4, 5 to 6, 7, 9, 12, something like that. I don't know. So I was thinking of getting one that has like every single millimeter, because not having a number 3 is a pain. Because if you do a 4 and then a 2, the difference is like unbelievable. You have to really like hand blend it, which is a bit of a pain. So I was thinking of just getting that and just try to learn myself, because it's one of those things with a beard that's like you're always going to have your beard, like if you keep it. I mean, why not just learn it really good yourself, you know what I mean? Although it does feel good when you get a fresh trim, but I don't know. I'll see, but I'm thinking right now just buy trimmers, trim this right down, shave this right down, keep this a little bit just now, and then both get rid of it soon. So we'll see, but that's the kind of plan right now. Because finasteride never really done much. It did initially seem to grow, but then it stopped. And then my minoxidil, I used that way before finasteride, so that like grew loads in, and it worked amazing when I was like late teens, early 20s. Early 20s, I'm still early 20s, but you know what I mean, late teens, like maybe 17 to 20, and it worked decent. But then it started getting worse again, and then that's when I started finasteride, so I should have started earlier, but I don't know. Anyway, that's for a different video. But I'm considering doing that. So I'll scroll that off my to talk about. Next, teeth. So I don't know how I'll show this. So if you can see here, then you can see it's like squinty here, and then the bottom ones, they're all squint as well. So this top one right here, right there, is really giving me shit right now. So what's happened is, I used to have like perfectly straight teeth, top and bottom. The only ones that was like here is like one tooth was ever so slightly out, and it was the same as my mum's. And then I felt it happened over the course of, now it must be years, like 3-4 years or something. But I would get like a pain that would be as if my wisdom teeth come in. I'm 99% sure that is what it is. And they come in, and I get pain for a couple of days, and then I'd notice my teeth are visibly a little more squint. But then what's happened is that it would be like every 4 months or something, just have this random couple of days of agony mouth, and then I'd have slightly more visible, like one of those ones where only I could notice it. But now it's at the point where like it's noticeable and it's sore, and instead of being just like twice a year, 3 times a year, it's now like every month. And especially like right now, it's just stopped today, but it was like this for maybe 5 days, where it was just pure agony here, here and here. Last night I fell asleep with a dull ache, whereas every other night I've had to take like paracetamol and ibuprofen before bed, which doesn't sound like much, but to me, I never take painkillers ever, and I've been pretty liberal in taking it like 2 or 3 times a day, so it's uncomfortable. I've even taken, the other night was cocodamol before bed and ibuprofen, and it still was like a dull ache. But so I need to go to the dentist for that. I'm going to get a dentist, and I think I've got a filling needing here, and I need to get these wisdom teeth out because this is just, it's causing pain, waking me up in the middle of the night and stuff as well. So I need to get that sorted out, and I'm joining Joanna's dentist up here, because she joined and got like seen really fast. They're like, oh sorry, we can't see you for like 2 weeks that you're joining, or was it a week? And Joanna's like, I don't mind, that's fine, because normally you phone them, man, and they're like, oh, we don't take any new NHS patients, which, excuse my French, but I'm going to go here, but that's fucking ridiculous. Down in Stranraer where I live, I tried to phone up to join the dentist, because I've not seen a dentist since I was 18, so that's like 5 years, because it was just before I went to university. I went to see it in Saltcoats, and then we moved the next summer, and I just had never been since. And every time it would be sore, my mum would be like, you need to join the dentist up there, and I'm like, oh I know, and then you'd forget, and then the pain would come, and then you'd be like, oh I need to phone the dentist, and then 4 days later the pain's away, and you're like, nah, I'm fine, don't worry about it. But now it's kind of like a cavity, and this pain is just, I need to do it. So anyway, I tried to phone the surgery in Stranraer. So like I live just outside Stranraer, like 5 minutes. It's the closest one. The other closest ones are like tens of miles away. So we phoned Stranraer, And they're like, oh, no, we're not taking on NHS patients. It's like, oh, so I've just moved here and you're not taking on NHS patients? No. So what am I supposed to do? Oh, well, we have some private appointments if you want one. No, I want my free NHS dental care like I'm supposed to get. So that's fucking shocking. Absolutely shocking. So Joanna was up here and she phoned, I think, three, four. And all of them were like, no, I'm not taking it on. So she found one and they were really good. And then she went and they done x-rays and everything just for their first one. It's like all free. And then offered, I think it's like for instance like a fill-in, if you get just like the standard whatever black or whatever, it's free, but then if you want to get white, it's an upgrade and you pay for it. But all the x-rays and everything's free. So I'm going to go to the one up here. I'll try and get an appointment and then I'll come back up for the appointment. So that's cool. Next thing I want to talk about is taste for my COVID, like post-COVID stuff. I've noticed like the past couple of weeks when I brush my teeth, normally you put toothpaste in and you can smell the mintiness and you taste the kind of fresh mint. And recently it's been like disgusting to me to brush your teeth. Like it just tastes disgusting, smells disgusting. It's the best explanation I can really think of is like if sanitizer went off, say like that kind of almost clinical alcoholic kind of thing, but an off version of it. That, and I could kind of smell and taste it, and it's disgusting every time you brush your teeth. So we've got Aquafresh here instead of Colgate now to try that. We'll see how that goes. But it's been weird taste. And then when I came up here, Joanna was saying how the past, because she said first, and then I was like, oh wait, I get that same thing but only with toothpaste. And she's like, I get that with toothpaste too. Because the first time was, oh, seagulls jumping a bit. So the first time was, she says 2 weeks ago she started tasting this weird minging taste. And she's like, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like, it's as if it's Aberdeen. As if it's from being here. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I started realising what she's saying, because things taste weird. But she thinks it's from, she thought initially she was like joking. Is it from being here? Like as if as Aberdeen get a weird smell or taste to things? But I kind of know what she's talking about, but while talking, we think it's maybe just like some COVID thing. Because she sent me some like papers or whatever on people who had suddenly like got disgusting taste after a while, 2 months after having COVID, which is roughly where we are, like 2.5 months, or yeah, something like that. So I don't know, it's weird. We'll see. But I noticed it as well when I sipped this coffee initially. Let's get this minging taste. I don't know why. It's not like minging, it's like a dullness. So like all my tastes, my senses are still, all my taste is still dull, and I still can't smell jobby. It's like the only thing I can't smell. Everything else, my smell is like 80%, so like I don't get strong smells. It's as if my smell and my palate is like dull now. It's like a kind of dull centered, like the whole that whole bit has like no taste basically. It's only like kind of the back and sides, which is weird. But if I go to the toilet, can I smell that at all? Which is, I suppose, good for me, but also a bit sketchy. Next, what we talked about? Oh, what? Another thing that I wanted to just briefly brush on is the danger of living in Aberdeen. It's seeming more than one would expect. Just for instance, Joanna has now texted me or phoned me multiple times now, as in 6 times in the past 2 weeks, with guys trying to talk to her just in the middle of the street. As in, like, everyone has been an ethnic minority and has seemingly been first generation in the way they talk. I'm not saying this ain't bad, by the way, before folk jump to my throat. I'm just meaning it's scary regarding the cultural thing with that, because every time she's been stopped, they're like, "Oh, you're so good looking. Oh, I want you," or whatever. You know, I want. It's just pure weird stuff like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." Like, try to talk to her, and then like groups of guys standing staring at her as she walks by, like licking the lips and everything. And it's just a bit sketchy. She's even was crying the other day because it just kept happening every day. And then she came back from the dentist, and as she was walking back, another guy was trying to hit on her and like walk with her and stuff. And she then phoned me afterwards, and she was like, "Oh, I was crying." She's like, "I can't even walk to the dentist without getting treated like that, without people trying to get in about you." And it's not as if it's just like, I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's like, it makes you so uncomfortable. And I remember I was saying to her that it's weird because, see, as a guy, you always think to yourself, you're like, you'd love it if birds just were like hitting on you all the time. But then I was sitting thinking about it, and it was the first time I'd ever thought of it from this angle, because I never really thought much of it. Like, as in, it's never something that I've been required to think about. But I started then thinking, I was like, well, imagine that. Imagine the reason guys think it'd be cool for birds to hit on them all the time is because birds don't hit on guys. Whereas when birds are going anywhere and getting hit on all the time, it ends up, it's like, you can't go anywhere without feeling sexualized, without feeling like a piece of meat. You know what I mean? It's like everywhere you go, people are just looking at you and essentially licking their lips, if not literally licking their lips or kissing their teeth. And it's like, it's just not on. It's not. It was the first time I'd ever thought to myself, "Oh my god, imagine that was you. Like, imagine that was me." And every time I went anywhere, people were just looking at me thinking, "Oh, I'd love to just fuck them." And it's just such a disgusting thing, I think. Like, it really kind of dehumanises people and makes them feel fearful. So that's been a bit sketchy. Just been stopped multiple times, and then even guys in the gym try to talk to her. It's always older guys or ethnic minorities. I don't know if there's any reasoning, whether this is like some cultural difference in some recent immigration of sorts. I don't know, because that's what even she was saying. She's like, where she grew up, it's like everybody is the same, whereas here she does feel that divide in culture, and it does make you a bit paranoid, a bit scary. And I mean, you can say what you want, but it's like, it would. I mean, I could see it from her point of view for that. Like, maybe it must be some sort of recent immigration, because that's not the culture in Scotland at all. You'd never do anything like that to birds. Like, you'd be too scared to even look at them, talk to them. Maybe some guys would just kind of stare at them, like in the gym or whatever, or they would beat their horn at them or something. Oi, oi, that kind of thing. Wolf whistling, maybe, but that's like a subsect even. That's like a kind of neddy thing to do. But to get stopped all the time and have groups of guys just stare at you, it's just weird. I even noticed when we were in the car and we were driving by a pub and we'd just stop at the traffic lights, and guys just like staring in, and I'm like staring back, and you're like, what the fuck, bro? And then at the gym, yeah. So I recorded my entire video diary, tried to edit it, couldn't render it, it would keep freezing at 80%. Finally got it rendered, and then deleted everything, so had the file, and then tried to upload it. Every time it would say processing abandoned. I could never figure out why. And now I've finally found something that would run the file and be able to skip through without it freezing. And after 24 minutes it cuts out. So where it cut out, what I was basically saying was at the gym, there's also guys staring at her, and I thought they stopped, but Joanna told me that they just kept doing it even when they were moving machines. And both of those guys weren't from Aberdeen, which you could tell by accent. So it was one black guy and one Chinese guy. But anyway, so basically the whole point of that was just that she feels very uncomfortable in Aberdeen. Even she jokes like even go to the dentist. So anyway, that, and then the next part I actually talked for another 15 minutes. Don't even really know what about now. Pardon me, but one part was definitely that I came up here on the Friday. So I was planning to come up on Sunday up to, pardon me, up to Joanna's, up to our halls, but my mum's work, someone contracted COVID on Friday, tested positive. So she says to me, there's no point waiting there and staying at home and increasing the likelihood. Can you hear that? That's a nightmare. There's not even anything on, that's just people. You always hear either cars or motorbikes or ambulances or police cars or something all the time. Cars are the worst, but woke up last night at 4:45 by a bunch of people shouting and revving their car. So, what a nightmare. She's starting to feel trapped, which is a nightmare, but I can see why. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so I come up here on the Friday as suggested by my mum and advised by her and me also, because I didn't want to possibly get COVID before coming up here. Still my head then. So come up on Friday, and then unfortunately, I think it was on Sunday or Monday, my mum tested positive, so that was a shame. She's well gutted about that, because she's like the infection control champion at work, which is basically the person who is in charge of all the COVID measures, and she was even she's been in that role essentially for like a year now, to the point where 6 months ago she had to go to a sister care home. Sorry, I can't concentrate. She had to go to a sister care home because they were riddled with COVID, and so she went there and successfully didn't get it and stopped the spread and resolved it, and then came back. And then also in the town where she works, Shinrar, there's another care home there, and that other care home has actually had it like 4 or 5 times, like different separate outbreaks. So this is the first time for there. So she's obviously pure gutted, and then she had COVID. Luckily she's fine though, just a kind of whatever mild case, not too bad at all, so that's good. Is that a helicopter? Can you hear that? Don't know, but it's loud. So anyway, so she's fine, which is good. And I don't know what else I said, so that'll be it for today's video diary. If you watched this far, take care, hope you're well, and I'll see you tomorrow, because it's actually Sunday today. See you later.